Right now, a lot of people across Texas are stuck at home. It's cold, the grid is stressed, and many of you are asking the same question. What is the best way to have power when the grid goes down? Should you get a generator? Should you get a battery? Or should you get battery combined with a solar system? So in this video, I want to break it down very clearly. We will talk pros, cons of each of these, how much you can expect to pay upfront and for maintenance, and how long will this backup solution keep your lights on. So let's get right to it. So when it comes to backup power, we have really three realistic options: a generator, a battery used only as a backup, and a battery combined with a solar system. So let's start with the most classic solution, the generator. So the generator, especially a whole home generator, is usually the cheapest entry option into a backup power system. A generator works when the grid power is not available, and that is its biggest advantage, but it's also really the only real benefit. So a generator does not save you money day to day. It does not produce cheaper energy or lower your electricity bills. It simply gives you power when there is no power in the grid. And that's it, nothing more. Now, on top of that, you have fuel, gas costs, maintenance costs, you have noise, emissions, and the fact that in very extreme conditions, which we have seen already in Texas, access to fuel or gas can become a problem. So back in 2021, homeowners with natural gas experienced lack of gas due to such high demand. So a generator is strictly emergency solution. It's not a bad solution, it just does not give you any more. A generator is good for people who want the lowest upfront cost and are not really interested in long-term savings. They want electricity only for backup purposes: storms, hurricanes, severe weather, etc. Now, the second option is going to be battery used as backup without solar, standalone battery. Now, that solution, many people still really misunderstand. So in this case, the battery charges from the grid, and when the grid goes down, it takes over powering the home or selected circuits until it's depleted. But here's a very important point. A battery does not have to be used only as backup. If you're able to change your electricity rate plan with your provider, for example, like to a plan where electricity is cheaper at night, you can charge the battery at night when the energy is cheaper, and then basically use your store power during the day or in the evening when the grid power is more expensive. In this way, a battery also gives you backup power and real savings on electricity bills and allows you to better manage your energy usage. Now, this is something that a generator will never give you, but there's also a third solution: a battery combined with a solar system. So in this setup, the solar system produces energy during the day. It first powers your home, and any excess energy charges the battery. And then you use that energy when you need it most. Now, that might be in the evening, at night, or during a power outage. And now a very important point that very few people say out loud: energy from your own solar system is the cheapest energy that you can have. Based on calculation, the cost of solar energy comes out to around 5 to 7 cents per kilowatt hour over long term. Now, that is without any incentives, and there is plenty of them. And this is the biggest difference with a generator and a battery only and battery with solar. Now, we have to be honest here. This is also the most expensive upfront solution, but at the same time, it actually pays for itself over time. Now, there's various incentive rebates and financing options available, like I mentioned, so that cost can be even lower. Now, this is why if you live in North Texas, you can definitely reach out to me to get a quote for any of these three options, really, and I will leave that information down in the description below. And also make sure to subscribe to the channel to help this channel grow. Thank you so much. Now, at the end, I want to summarize this very simply. So, like I said at the beginning, you have three options. If you just want power during power outages and nothing else, a generator may be enough. If you want backup power and lower bills, a battery starts to make sense. If you want independence and the cheapest energy and real long-term savings, battery plus solar is a clear winner. So let's walk through this table together step by step. All right, so does it work when the grid is down? It better be. The answer is yes for all three options. They all work during an outage. Next is upfront installation cost. So generators usually are the lowest upfront cost, but they are getting very close to like a one battery setup. So you can expect to pay, and I'm giving you a big range here because it really depends on the state you're in, anywhere from $14,000 to $18,000 for a whole home setup. And battery only systems are not that much more expensive than generators, and you can still expect to pay around $15,000 to get started. Then battery plus solar is the higher upfront cost, no questions about it. So if you're looking at a day one price, the generator and battery only usually wins. Let's go to the next row. This is where things start to change. So generators have a very high long-term energy cost. You're constantly paying for natural gas or for propane, and it ain't cheap. The cost never really goes away. Battery-only systems have medium long-term costs. You're still buying energy from your utility provider, and you're using it more intentionally though. And then battery plus solar has the lowest long-term energy cost. Once it's installed, the sun is free, and that makes a massive difference over time. Next row, we're talking about return on investment, and this one is a big one. So generators really have no ROI. They don't save you money. They just give you power during power outages. Battery-only system can have a partial return on investment. If you're on a time of use plan, you can reduce your electricity bill. And then battery plus solar has the strongest ROI. You're offsetting grid power, protecting yourself from rate increases, and using your own energy. Hence in row 5, we have no bill savings from generator and yes for the other two. Now, next one, we see dependence on fuel and gas, and this one is important, especially in Texas. Generators depend on fuel or gas. If supply is disrupted, the generator is useless. Battery systems do not depend on fuel or gas, but if it's a standalone battery, you have limited storage if you don't have solar. Next row, we're talking about noise and emissions, and this one is pretty self-explanatory. Then maintenance and servicing, and this is where generators require annual services, and that cost can cost you a few $100s extra every single year. Battery plus solar have virtually no maintenance, fewer moving parts, fewer things to go wrong. Next up, all three options work with an automatic transfer switch. This is just standard across all three solutions. Backup turns on automatically when the grid is down. You don't have to do anything manually. In the next row, we see that all three options work at night and without sun. Then we see ability to store your own energy. Generators obviously do not store energy, batteries do, so the other two options are a yes. With solar, you're no longer a consumer, you're also a producer. Now let's talk about EV charging capability. In this one, solar obviously wins because now you are also generating power in a power outage, giving you that potential extra power. When it comes to future expandability, generators are pretty limited when it comes to expansions. Like when you set it up, that's pretty much it. You have to get a whole nother one. Battery-only systems are pretty easily expandable. It just depends on the brand that you get. And same with solar and battery, you can add more panels, more battery capacity, or both over time. So best use case, what is each option really best for? So generators are best for emergency backup only. Battery only systems are best for small backup plus bill control, and then battery plus solar is best for energy independence and long-term savings. So this video is not meant to push everyone towards one more expensive option or the other. It's meant for you to understand the differences and make an informed decision. I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your questions down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.